Hello, everybody. This is Hailey, and welcome to One Thing at a Time. I am solo this week, and it's pretty depressing. I miss my Olivia. I really, really do. We just got back from Dollywood. Me and Olivia did, and we had the best time ever. I do have some updates for you guys. So I just announced that I got married. I posted it to my Facebook and Instagram. I actually haven't made a formal announcement on my Haley High Photography. That's next. But I wanted to tell the pod because I have a new hubby. And Olivia, if you're listening to this, which I know you are, she can't get over the fact that I have a husband, and she's gonna have hers next, so it's okay. I'll share mine until her man's proposes and they get married. But so some life updates. Yeah, I got married back in June 26th. We eloped and we got our pictures back. We did them in Washington State. They were absolutely phenomenal. I can't shout out to Taylor Bracey because I truly just love her so much. She killed it. She killed it. But some other little updates is that I did go to Paris for a client, and the photos are phenomenal. I cannot wait to share them. I went for a actual photography friend. Her name's Shelby. Shout out Shelby if you're listening to the podcast. We went all the way out there to do some Eiffel Tower pictures at night when it sparkles. And if you haven't been to Paris, it starts at 9 o'clock when it sparkles, and it sparkles for 5 minutes on top of every hour from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. So it starts at 9 o'clock, it goes for 5 minutes. You have to wait till the other hour in order to get any more pictures. So I had 5 minutes. I think I did the challenge right. I think I did so good, and I can't wait to share those pictures. But I've been wanting her to enjoy them before I share them. But it's really fun. I loved that country. It was so amazing. I might do a little travel guide blog, might do a little episode on places to go, things to do. I'll have some reels up soon of all of the places that I went. So if you're interested in going to Paris, France, I can give you all the tea, all the deets, because there's so many things that I didn't know going there that I probably should have researched more. But anywho, let's get into the pod. Today, I'm going to be talking about telling a different story, which is kind of I don't know, it might be a little generalized, but I feel like a lot of photographers tell the same story over and over and over again. Hi, I'm a professional third wheel, and I am a wedding photographer, and I have a brim hat, and I have my battery grip and my clog shoes. What are those? What is the brand of boots that every photographer on the face of the planet has? They start with a B. Anyways, I don't have them, but I want them because it's a photographer thing. And I feel like a lot of photographers in this space, in this industry, they all are doing the same thing, and then they're complaining about why they don't get clients, or they're complaining about they don't get people, or they don't run their business the way that they want to, or it's not as successful as they want to. And I think that it's all ties into telling a different story, because at the end of the day, if I'm coming from someone that was a bride, I guess kind of still is, but I looked for someone that was different, that they were unique. And one thing that I loved about my wedding photographer is that she was exactly like she was in person that she was online. And she also has a very unique voice, very unique style. And I felt like that bleeded into our photos, which I absolutely loved. And I feel like she's been so successful, and I feel like if you look at all of these super successful photographers, you can see that they're not all the same. You know what I mean? It's everybody else that's in the mediocre, lower kind of tier, that they're not booking as much, or they're on Facebook groups complaining about, oh, woe is me, I'm not booking clients, and I'm charging I don't know, $6,000, but yet you don't serve your client, you don't you don't check all the boxes of what you should be doing. And I feel like a lot of photographers put blame on everything else rather than taking responsibility. So I just wanted to like touch on telling a different story, niching down. I think that it's super duper important to niche down on what you want to do and only cater and serve that type of client, that type of space, if that makes any sense. If you listen to the Heart University at all, they like, or honestly any photographer that's in the podcasting space or like the teaching space, they talk about creating your client avatar, which basically is your dream client. You make up this pretend character that's a dream client of yours, and you literally type in like, what is their hair color, what is their eye color, what do they do for a living, what is this, what is that, like you make up this pretend person. You can even name it. Like I haven't named mine, but I'm open to suggestions for names. But I have this like imaginary person, and every post that I make is geared and crafted towards this person because that's the type of client that I want to attract. So when I say I'm an adventurer wedding photographer, I want someone that's down to have fun, that's down to go and travel, someone that's like, I don't know, they want to, photos are important to them. They really want their personality to show through the photos. They want someone that's high energy. They want someone that will match their level of like energy. Just because I would not recommend anyone, for me, this is for me personally, I do not recommend anyone that's like super duper chill, doesn't care, very nonchalant, like just doesn't, like very monotone, very like whatever. Like I would not recommend that client for me, just because like I want someone that cares about what their wedding looks like. I want someone that cares about what their photos look like. I want someone that cares about how I interact with their family members and how I interact with their bridal party, and someone that really truly cares about everything that's going on around them surrounding like wedding day, or if I'm doing not even necessarily wedding day, but like everything in between. And I feel like one reason why I've been as successful as I am is because I've always tried to tell my story, a different story, because not everybody's going to have the same story unless they're trying to like morph into someone they're not. But if you're being authentic to who you are and who like what you want to do and be true to the story that you want to tell, you're going to be so successful, because there's going to be someone out there that connects with you and that wants to know more about your life and that wants to truly get to know you, and they love your work and they want to connect. And I feel like that's why all these photographers are like being so successful, is because they're telling a different story. They're not wearing the stupid brim hats, and they're not saying I'm a professional third wheel. And I'm not trying to like hate on anyone that has that in their website or in their Instagram or whatever. Like it's definitely like the first person that started it, I think it was a genius idea, but I think that it's been overplayed now. There's a lot of things that have been overplayed within this industry. And I feel like that's for editing styles too. I know Olivia touched on editing styles in her past episode, and like kind of niching down. Like for a while on Instagram, everyone was doing like the green, or not the greens, the really orange and the really teals. And like that now is kind of like dated, or there's like super contrasty photographers and there's super dark and moody photographers. And I feel like the past trends that have been in like the early 2000s, like bleeding into like 2016, they're kind of like overplayed. And I mean, if that's your editing style, then 100% there's going to be people that run towards that. But I feel like technology is advancing, we're advancing, and you kind of have to tell a different story. You kind of have to stand out in some type of way. So if you're kind of looking like your photos are from 10 years ago, then like maybe let's try something else. I know I'm probably going to get so much hate for saying things like that, but this is the hard truth. And I think that people, especially first starting out, I needed someone to tell me that, because when I looked at, I don't know, my bio, I went to like 14,000 other photographers and I was like, what they put in their bio? You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, especially when you're first navigating everything, that you need to stay true to your voice and what your everything, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I love coffee. It's a personality trait. So I love it. And I will not stop talking about it on my story. I love, like, I do this little weird series. I don't know if anyone's noticed. No, 100% people have noticed. that I literally always post my coffee order because everybody asks, because I used to work at Starbucks. So that's like something unique about me. Or like I used to be a cheerleader, so every once in a while I'll do some cool flips and I'll post them. Or I love doing like certain wide shots, and every once in a while I'll do a really, really, really wide shot, and like that's just my editing style, that's just my eye. So like if there's something that you really, really like, put that forward. Like if you absolutely hate taking detail shots, don't market yourself as like, I love taking details, I'm all about details for wedding day, like blah 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 blah. Like post what you like. Like I love a good tree. Olivia dogs on me because every time I'm anywhere I love trees, but I feel like that is a part of my editing, that's part of my branding, that's a part of who I am, and it bleeds into my business. So if there's a venue that has a cool freaking tree, you best believe I'm going to go take pictures by it, just because it's so cool and it's so unique. And like, yes, you can try and recreate photos from the same tree at like 14 different weddings, like if you were to, you know what I mean. But I think that's one thing that I stand out differently than Uncle Joe down the street that's a photographer. You know what I mean? They're not going to get the shots that I'm going to get with my eye, with my lens, with my camera, with my editing style, with my creative brain. And I don't want him to try to do what I'm doing. I want him to cater to what he loves. Just like I love taking pictures with trees. Like just take some pictures with trees. And I did want to hop on my little soapbox of like photographers like dissing the algorithm or saying like the algorithm's out to get me. Like the algorithm's not out to get you. Like it's really truly not. It's simple like math numbers. If you post more reels, if you're posting what they want to push, then you're going to be successful. And if you stay consistent with that, you're going to be successful. It's not like, oh, well, we don't want you to be, I don't know. Instagram's not out to get you. No one's out to get you. I just think that a lot of photographers I've seen, they're like, woe is me. I'm not getting business. I'm not getting clients. I'm not doing this. But then they're not doing anything different. They're not doing anything to like help themselves. They're not doing anything that truly makes an impact on their clients. Like I feel like people forget that there's people behind the phones. So you're just trying to connect with humans. Like you're trying to connect to the bride that wants their photos to be amazing. Like I'm going to be talking specifically for me and my experience, but I wanted to feel something through my wedding photos. I wanted something that I've never seen before, that I really resonated with, someone that was super creative, someone that I can give complete creative freedom to, and they can literally just create the best photos ever, rather than being like, oh, well, I want this type of photographer to do this and this and this, and like they cater to my needs. But in reality, I wanted them to do their own thing, and I kind of accept them as they are, because I'm hiring them for their creative story, their different, unique, amazing story. And I know this episode is a little bit all over the place, but I did just want to like let it off my chest and give, I don't know, maybe there's someone out there that needs to hear it like I needed to hear it, because I listened to a Jai Long podcast. I highly recommend his everything. He's so great and he's so smart and he's so successful, and like one of my dreams is to like meet him in person because he's a literal genius. But anywho, yeah, Jai Long is amazing, and he talks about this and like telling a different story with your brand and being unique to yourself. And I feel like this is why a lot of people get imposter syndrome. Me and Olivia will do an imposter syndrome episode, because I feel like that is a whole different topic within itself, of like, you look at someone else and you're like, oh, I'm not being as successful as they are. But at the end of the day, like, you're not doing everything in your power to like be the best that you can be and serve your client as best as you can. And I feel like the comparison game is really hard with social media, but you have to find like a happy balance, and you have to understand that like those big major photographers were right in your seat I mean, maybe not all of them. Maybe like there are some like one hit wonders that like had a reel go viral, had a TikTok go viral, and now they're mega ultra famous. But like people in the industry that are crazy, like India Earl and stuff, like they're not just self-made overnight. They had to work hard, and they were probably in the exact same situation as you. And I feel like we need to be reminded of that sometimes. Like we don't need to get all gloomy and say, woe is me. I'm not the best photographer. Like there's so many other better people. Like let's take a step back. Let's say, who am I serving? Why am I serving them? How can I serve them? Am I giving them, like, you want to make your client experience amazing. Like I feel as though you need to really focus on client experience, and it begins before you even book them as a client. So anytime anyone ever inquires with me, they automatically get a style guide. It's the second they inquire with me, they get a 24-hour like, hey, I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. And then a few minutes later, boom, a style guide. So even if they don't book with me, they can, whatever photographer they book with, they'll have a style guide, and I'm still serving them. I still want them to have a positive experience, because what if they're doing this as an engagement session, like they were inquiring for an engagement session, they found someone that was better, cheaper, but because they had a positive experience with me, they're like, oh, you know what, let's just give Hailey a try for the wedding. Like let's do another session with her. But I constantly want to serve my clients, my people, like even people that just follow me that just want to see what I'm doing. I want to constantly serve, because I love whenever people give me freebies or people give me things that I'm like, oh, okay, they're totally were thinking about me when they were making this. And I I stand by like all kinds of freebies, and I'm not saying just like work super hard and give everything away for free, because that's a whole different conversation. I do think when you're first starting out, you do have to give things away for free. Like, do you think my sessions when I first started out, I did so many free ones, and then I charged $35. I think I charged $35 for like a whole year, because I was like, nobody's gonna want my pictures. And then here I am now, I'm charging $300 a session, and then my weddings are like anywhere from 2,000, 2,150 to like 2,900, and we all have to start somewhere. But I don't know where I was going with that, but I don't know what I was talking about before that crap. Anyways, my point saying this is you just have to be true to yourself, as cheesy as that is. Tell a different story. Don't look at everybody else and what they're doing. I will say that, like, a piece of advice for someone, I don't personally, how do I want to word this? I don't struggle with imposter syndrome as much as other photographers. And I think the reason why is that I only follow people that I'm truly inspired by. I only follow people that I am like, oh my gosh, I love their work. I love what they're doing. I'm inspired by. If I'm envious, I unfollow. If I like truly don't like them as a person, what their brand represents, what they're doing, I unfollow. And I also want people to know that there's other outlets of inspiration rather than just Instagram. Like Pinterest is a great tool. Like I know that a lot of people like don't see how amazing Pinterest is, and there's so many amazing things that Pinterest is used for, but inspo is a main one. You can go and buy old magazines. You can buy like Vogue, Chanel, all of those like coffee book, table books that have like a bunch of fun stuff. You can go to thrift stores and look at old photos that way. There are so many things that you can draw inspiration from, like a simple Google search of what vibe that you're going for, or blog posts of past people that have these ideas. Like there's more than just Instagram, and I feel like people somehow get like sucked into this vortex of Instagram's the only way that we can gain inspiration and be successful, when in reality, like, you need more than just Instagram and Facebook, because Facebook and Instagram might not be here tomorrow. You want to be in different avenues of like, okay, well, I need a website to put everything on, and cool, I can direct people to and from the website. And then I can also pull inspiration from Pinterest. God forbid Facebook and Instagram go down. Like they did that one time, like a while ago, and everyone's freaking out. And everyone that only had their businesses on Instagram were freaking out. And the people that had other avenues that they could go to, they were doing fine. Like a simple Google search from their stuff and it was totally fine. But I just don't want people to throw pity parties when they can help themselves. I think that a lot of people are on the outside looking in and they get super envious and super jealous of people that are successful when they're not doing everything that they could be doing. You know what I mean? Like there are so many envious people, like not even, I'm just gonna be honest, like in my life, that are like, oh, like how do you get to do this? How do you, oh, like your mom and dad, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I work hard and I made a lot of sacrifices to be where I am right now, and that's why I'm successful. Like while everyone else was like partying in college and while everybody else was doing their thing, like I was on Friday nights listening to podcasts, trying to figure out how to make a website, trying to better myself with my editing, trying to figure out new things in my business. Like every break I had for school would be put towards my business. And I feel like that sacrifice then has made my business flourish now. And a lot of people don't see the hard work that goes into it. And like, for example, I had a few people make comments about me going to Washington for my photos, for my wedding photos. And I saved up for it. Like I paid everything out of my own pocket and Evan out of his. Like no one helped us financially. And it's because it was something that I truly wanted to do, that I believed in. Just like other people want nice cars and they get nice cars. People want the newest technology and they put their money towards that. It's all about priorities. So I feel like to be envious of someone when you're not doing all that you can do is unfair to yourself and for other people, because at the end of the day you kind of just have to do what's best for you. So yeah. So people have been negative. Granted, I'm in a community of people that are so positive, so I don't want to discourage anybody because I have way more positive than negative in my life. But it's just certain comments about like, oh, I got a I got a comment on one of my posts and it says, I wish that I could afford to go and take pictures here. And it was like my announcement photo. And I was like, what? No, like I have just different priorities. Like nobody is like, I don't think truly broke. I don't think so. I think that people just have different priorities and they put their money elsewhere, and that's why they're not where they want to be, versus someone like me that puts their money in things that they truly want. So I think that that's just a little bit of encouragement, especially because I travel a lot. I travel a lot, and it's a lot, mentally, physically, with friends, relationships, my relationships, just me mentally, because I'm a pretty homebody. Like I love being home, but in a job where it's like physically and mentally demanding because I'm constantly serving people, it's not just sunshine and rainbows. It's a 3-hour layover in Boston after I just did an 8-hour flight coming from France to here, and I'm actually exhausted, and I have a wedding in a day, and I still haven't had any of my gear charged or any of the photos that I've taken edited, and I still have 4 brides to contact, and I have to pack for the following weekend where I'm going out of town again, and it's constant weekends that I'm missing out on things that I would like to do, but I'm not, because I'm focusing on the things that truly do matter, and I'm sacrificing the things to get where I want to go. And I don't know, I feel like this is like an encouragement. This is a reminder to be true and do whatever you do it in love, because I don't think that being negative to anybody is going to do anything but hurt yourself. You want to put into the world what you want to get back. And for people that are religious, this is, God says, reap what you sow. So truly whatever you speak into the world, God, I feel like is managing everything. And I feel like what you put in is what you're going to get out of it. And for people that are not religious, karma is a true thing. And I think that manifesting and believing that God will make it happen and trusting that he will make it happen and believing that it'll happen because of him is going to get you where you want to go. And so, yeah, that's my little encouragement. I know I rambled a lot, but I hope my message is clear. And yeah, next week, Olivia and me are going to be back together. We're getting the band back together. But we have a lot of fun pictures that we took together. We just did a branding session for the pod. And then we got some like individuals. Shout out to Tori Turner for being absolutely amazing, because she killed it on those photos. Like, I love every single last one. I just did a post if you want to go check it out. I reintroduced myself as Hailey High Night because that's my new name, Hailey High Night. But don't worry, my business is still saying Hailey High Photography. It's not going anywhere. That's my baby. That's my first baby. I love high. I kept high, don't worry. But I think I said all that I needed to say for this week. So, if you need to find me, if you need to find Olivia, it's all going to be in the show notes. If you want to find me, I'm Hailey High Photography on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even. I'm on TikTok. I think I have a Twitter, but if not, don't quote me on that. I think I do, but I don't know. And Olivia is Olivia Rodriguez Photos everywhere except Facebook because she doesn't know how to change it. And then the podcast is One Thing at a Time. It's all going to be linked, so you just like scroll a little bit. But anyways, I just wanted to tell everybody that I love them, and I hope they have an amazing week and weekend. And yeah, bye.